As an entrepreneur, have you ever felt like you are just stuck? Like you're constantly distracted, completely unable to focus, and you are literally struggling to stay motivated? If you can relate to that, you're not alone. In fact, a lot of entrepreneurs face that very issue, and it is literally one of the biggest barriers to success. That's why today we're going to be diving into the neuroscience of goal achievement and how you can harness your brain's power to improve your focus, resilience, and motivation. I'm going to walk you through some actionable strategies that will help you rewire your brain for success and break free from those distractions and finally start crushing those goals that you've been setting. So, I want you to grab your notebook because by the end of this video, you're going to have 3 actionable tools that you can implement today to unlock your true potential. Welcome to the Success Blueprint Podcast, where we dive deep into the world of entrepreneurship and success. Join us in uncovering the stories behind the triumphs, challenges, and invaluable lessons learned by today's most inspiring entrepreneurs. So, let's start by actually addressing the root of the problem, and that's a lack of focus and persistent distractions. I mean, if we're being honest, as entrepreneurs, we are constantly juggling multiple tasks, deadlines, and countless decisions that need to be made on a daily basis. So really, it's no wonder that we're finding ourselves overwhelmed and unable to stay focused on the important things. But, sigh of relief, here's the thing. Our brains are incredibly adaptable. It is literally built to change and grow throughout your entire life. And this phenomenon is called neuroplasticity. Now, this is the brain's ability to literally reorganize itself by forming new neural connections or new neural pathways. Now, the beauty of neuroplasticity is that it actually means that your brain isn't set in stone. Your opinions may be, but your brain isn't. It means that you can change things. So you can actually rewire your brain to become more focused, productive, and resilient. So think about it this way. Every time that you face a challenge and you choose to push through it, you're literally strengthening the neural pathways that are responsible for persistence. And every time you make a decision or you take an action, you're actually training your brain to create the new neural pathways that are serving your success. But how can you take advantage of this? How can you actually rewire your brain for goal achievement and success? Well, let's dive into some actionable strategies. Now that we've covered the way that your brain has the incredible power of neuroplasticity and how it shapes our ability to grow, let's dive into some of the brain-based strategies that you can actually use right away to boost your focus and help you reach your goals. Now, these aren't just abstract concepts. They're actually actionable techniques that will help you break through distractions and rewire your brain for success. So let's start with the first one. Let's start with visualization. Now, visualization, it's often thought of as simply imagining your goals, but it is literally so much more powerful than that. It's about actually training your brain to experience the success before it's actually happened. Here's how that works. What I want you to do is I want you to think about setting aside 10 minutes a day for guided visualization sessions. You can find some on YouTube. You can also look at our library that we have available to you as well. And while you're doing this, you're going to be picturing yourself reaching your goals, overcoming your challenges, embodying the confidence, success, and the desired results that you're aspiring to achieve. When you visualize the success, it actually activates the same neural pathways that would be used if you were actually performing the tasks that are leading you to success. It's literally a mental rehearsal that's helping you build the new neural connections that are aligning with your desired outcomes and setting you up for success. It's literally how manifestation works. You see, your reticular activating system in your brain is then triggered to pay attention more so to the objects and the opportunities that present more success to you. So your brain is literally rewiring itself for success. Now, thanks to the neuroplasticity, your brain adapts these new mental images by replacing the old limiting beliefs with the positive ones that are supporting your goals. So to supercharge this, I want you to try something called anchoring during your visualizations. Anchoring is where you take a physical gesture, and when you're at the peak, when you feel the strongest about that visualization, you trigger that physical anchor to connect the mind-body with one that you can then use at a later time. So you can literally associate these positive emotions with the physical gesture, like, say, tapping your fingers. And that way, when you are thinking in the future that you need to access again that feeling of success, you can tap your fingers together and you'll feel those positive feelings coming back to you in real life. If you haven't tried anchoring before, check out our videos. We do have other videos where I guide you through anchoring exercises. Definitely recommend that. Now, let's take things a step farther, because visualization, truly a great tool, absolutely love it. But to make those changes even deeper, we can tap into the power of our subconscious with self-hypnosis. Now, I know for anyone who is not familiar with hypnosis, they're probably thinking about party tricks and stage shows. But hypnosis is actually so much more for it, to the point that I actually utilize it in my coaching practice on a daily basis with almost every single one of my past and present clients. You see, it's a scientifically proven method for accessing the subconscious mind and breaking through mental blocks and barriers that you might have. So here's how you can use it. I want you to try doing self-hypnosis in a quiet space. Now, you're not going to go into like a deep trance state like some may expect, and you may even doze off a little bit, but hypnosis, especially self-hypnosis, you've done it before. I know this because anytime that you get into a vehicle and you drive somewhere and you arrive and you don't remember how you got there, or you're a passenger in the vehicle, or you're daydreaming, or you're watching TV and not fully paying attention, you go into a trance-like state. Some actually predict that we spend up to 80% of our day in a trance-like state. So for you to go into self-hypnosis, you're literally just accessing that trance state, but you're still having cognitive thoughts. Now, when you're under self-hypnosis, you may have intrusive thoughts, or you may just have thoughts passing through. The point that you should always make is to allow those thoughts to pass through. Don't fixate on them, and acknowledge that you'll deal with them later. When you're in that self-hypnosis or that very relaxed state, you can get there by doing some breathing techniques such as 4-square breathing. You're going to have your eyes closed. You're going to continue with the rhythmic breathing. And once you're there, you're going to repeat affirmations such as, I am worthy of success, or I am focused and driven. When you're repeating these words, I want you to allow them to sink deep into your subconscious. See, hypnosis helps you bypass your critical conscious mind, known as the critical faculty. Now, this is where things bounce off, doubts and distractions. And by bypassing the critical mind, you are diving straight into the subconscious, where you are able to create, again, those new neural pathways, where you can reinforce positive behaviors and mindsets. Now, when you're in the relaxed state, your brain becomes more receptive to suggestions. It's literally because when you're in hypnosis, your brain enters into either alpha or theta waves, which allows you to connect with your subconscious and make real changes, helping you replace the limiting beliefs with empowering ones. So what I want you to do to heighten this even forward is when you do get into the trance-like state and you're under self-hypnosis, I want you to take negatives and I want you to reframe them as positives. Take a negative belief, a past experience, and reframe it in a way that is empowering, a way that allows you to take control and rewrite that narrative. This allows you to see them from a more empowering perspective, boosting your confidence and your ability to take action. And finally, to make sure that you actually stay on track, let's talk about the 5-second rule. See, sometimes the hardest part about making progress is simply taking that first step. We've all experienced moments of hesitation, doubt, or procrastination, and that's where the 5-second rule can break that cycle and propel you into action, no matter how small the step is. So here's how it works. When you feel the procrastination setting in, literally count 5 down to 1, and as soon as you hit 1, take immediate action, even if it's just one small step towards your goal. This simple countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it actually interrupts your brain's habitual thought patterns, the ones that are kind of keeping you stuck in indecision, and it helps you move forward through action before your mind has a chance to talk you out of it. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm sitting there and I don't feel like I want to do something, I have a very good ability to talk myself out of it. But this is where that countdown taps into your brain's pre-conscious state, where decisions are made before the critical thinking mind can actually intervene. It's literally using your brain's natural impulse to take action, instantly shifting you into motion. And this is one thing that has literally made massive changes for me. It's a quick reset for your mind, and I definitely encourage you to try it out. So now that you have these powerful tools, let's take a look at how they've actually worked for some of the clients that I've worked with in the past. It reminds me of one of my clients, Kara. So Kara was an entrepreneur who often struggled with distractions, and she was constantly bouncing from one task to another, which made her never able to focus long enough to actually get things done, because she would get them halfway done, 3/4 of the way done, or just even started. But after implementing all of these strategies that we just talked about, including the daily visualization and self-hypnosis, Kara really started to notice some shifts. See, she was able to focus better. She was able to feel more motivated, and she was able to tackle her goals with a new kind of sense of confidence. But the one that worked the best for her was the 5-second rule. See, she was all about procrastination, and she had a big project that she was working on. But as soon as she started doing the work, she'd find herself drifting off, finding other things to do, anything that could literally take her away from the work she had to do. When she started implementing the countdown, she began to take immediate action. This small but powerful decision made her feel more in control and led her to completing the projects not just on time, but some of them ahead of schedule. And it was because it built her confidence. The feeling alone of taking the action and doing it and then getting it done was such a good, strong feeling that she was doing it for everything. So these strategies, they're not just theories. They're actually tools that work in real life, and I have seen it over and over and over again. So whether you're struggling to focus or just need a little boost of motivation rather, these brain-based strategies can help you make real, lasting changes. Now remember, the brain is malleable. With the right tools and the right strategies, you can literally rewire your brain for success. So by leveraging neuroplasticity, visualization, and the 5-second rule, you can break free from your distractions, enhance your focus, and stay motivated, no matter the challenges that you're facing. So, which strategy are you going to try first? Start incorporating these techniques into your daily routine and watch as your focus, productivity, and success begin to soar. So I want to hear how you're making out with them. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to hear about your transformation. If you found this video valuable, remember to like and share with your other entrepreneurial friends, and check out our website for resources that are available to you. Have a great day.